Hello, Rob. Welcome in Brussels. Catharsis, the new CD. Can you tell me a bit about the concept? Catharsis, a purging of emotions, but which emotions needed purging?
Music has always been very cathartic for me. Even before I was in a band, I was going to shows and I was going to see Metallica open for Raven at the Keystone Berkeley to 250 people. I mean, that was my initial teenage years, and I just happened to be lucky to be there at the very beginning of the thrash metal scene, and it had a huge impact on me. It had a huge, for me, going to shows and headbanging and going into the pit and circle pitting, and it was a big deal. It was a big part of my early life, and then getting into a band even helped that. And I think when we started putting the record together, and it was such an eclectic record. It was such a there were so many varying emotions. On the one hand, it had this kind of social, political commentary. On another hand, it had straight up songs like party songs, like California Bleeding, and we felt like it just symbolized what the record was in an awesome way.
We rise, we fall, and then we come together and despise this all. So get your middle fingers in the air and sing. They can't ignore us anymore, it's up to us. So hear me out, cause I don't give a fuck. I'm stuck, I'm hitting it off and deep in like a truck. No brakes, grip the wheel and start to shake. I beat my chest to feel alive, not part of life.
I think the one thing that we did differently on this record that we had never done before was, rather than write for 6 months to a year or whatever and then record for however long, we would write 3 songs and then go in and record those 3 songs. So it was really fresh, really just barely even knew how to play the songs in a way, and then get out of the studio immediately and then go write a few more songs, take a little bit more time, go back in, record it. And so rather than the typical way, which is you write 15 songs or 10 songs and then you record them all, this was like chipping away at the record, and it really created this sense of urgency. It created this sense of immediacy. We didn't really know what we were doing. Some of the songs were very raw. When we went in, we were still working them out, and I think it added this crazy energy to it. I think it added this excitement to it. I think it added this chaotic element that made it more uncontrolled, because we didn't really know what the fuck we were doing. For some of the songs, it was literally the first day that we ever played it as a band, but we recorded it and we captured that, and so it was exciting.
You're there to watch me crumble.
Pretty much the cliche that when you put out a new record, you go, it's the heaviest thing ever. Oh my God, it's so heavy. And as I was looking at the record, I was like, I can't say that. Like, I can't say this is the heaviest thing ever. Like, it's really not the heaviest thing we've done. It's probably the least thrashiest thing we've done in a decade. And I think you got to be honest with people, and you got to make them understand. And even if it kind of jars them and kind of throws people for a loop for a minute, and they go, oh no, what's it going to be like, hey, look, this is honest. There's more singing on this record. There's a song that's completely acoustic, no heavy guitars, no heavy vocals for the first time ever. I can't sit there and be like, this is the heaviest thing ever. So I think with this song, we really focused on songwriting. We really focused on simplifying ideas and simplifying concepts, and it worked, and it just made some great songs. And we ended up having 15 songs, 75 minutes, so it's a long record. It's a big commitment, and it's Lord of the Rings.
Can you feel my catharsis? Oh, can you feel my catharsis? Oh, come on, can you feel my catharsis?
You doing the song Bastards? It's maybe my favorite song. I think it's a very brave and ballsy song. When you put it on Facebook, I thought, like, man, if they're gonna put that on the record, That takes balls, but you did it. So
Thank you. Right on. Yeah, I mean that was a song that was based off a very difficult conversation that me and my wife had with our sons the day after the election.
Yesterday I told my sons, sometimes the bad guys win, and that it made me scared about the world that we live in. But I had to reassure them that it wouldn't be for long. Sons, we have to be ourselves, we have to be strong.
I think when I put it up on YouTube at that point, it was a couple days after the election, I felt like that was it. Like I didn't really feel like anything else would come of it. As time went on with the writing of the record, it got to the song Eulogy probably like 6 months later, and I wrote that chorus and I started singing it, and I didn't realize it at the time, but it was the same notes as the Bastard chorus, and I was like, oh, whoa, that's the same notes, but it was in a different area, totally different key, so I hadn't put that together, and it just, that whole idea of Bastards and the melody and the thing just kind of started weaving its way through all of the songs. And Machine Head's written lots of empowering songs, Imperium, 10 Ton Hammer, but there was something just about that sentiment, stand your ground, don't let the bastards grind you down, be bold, be strange, don't let their fears make you afraid. And that threaded its way through every song in some way or another, and in a weird way became the centerpiece of the album. And we had to go for it. There was a time too when both the band and even the label were just like, does this song need to be on there? It's pretty way out for you guys. And we asked ourselves some tough questions, like, do we need to say this? Do our fans, are we gonna piss people off, or and at the end it was just a great song. It was just a great song, and when a great song comes along, you got to go with it. Hey everyone, Robb Flynn from Machine Head. We're going to be playing at the Ancien Belgique in Brussels on Friday, May 11th. Get your tickets here.